Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Barry Chappell coming to you live from Hollywood, California, home of PrimeTime Shopping Network Studios. And folks, I got an incredible show. I have a lot going on tonight, a whole lot. But before I even get to the show, Wilson, I have an ethical question I need the viewers' feedback on. My plan, and I don't know if it's going to work. Juliet, they're going to call you. They're going to call you, Patty. My plan is to cryogenically freeze myself for 37 years and 11 months. I want to wake up a week before I be 100. And I'm going to be asleep, so all my Social Security checks, stuff like that, would go to a certain bank. So I'd wake up when it, time-wise, it would have been 100, but I'd still be 62. Now here's my moral dilemma. Do I freeze Ginger too, or do I get her a good home? I am going to cryogenic. You're not paying attention, are you, Juliet? She's not paying attention. That's a demerit. I am going to cryogenically freeze myself for 37 years and 11 months so I can wake up a week before I would have been 100. But if the cryogenically freezing works, I'll still be 62. But I'll have 37 years of Social Security in my account. So the question is, what do I do with Ginger? Because Ginger is my dog. We're like really close. Do I cryogenically freeze her, or do I find her a really good home? You're quick to freeze her. She wants to. What would you do, Wilson? You'd freeze her? Matt, what would you do? Freeze her? And just so everybody knows to date, not a single person frozen has ever woken up. They're hoping they learn how. The biggest problem is, as I know it, and I don't know a whole lot, freezing causes quite a bit of damage to your tissues. But, all right, I'm going with you guys. Now, if anybody in the audience disagrees, all you guys say freeze Ginger with me. But this is dangerous stuff, Wilson. Are you going to be cryogenically frozen? Why not? Why not, Wilson? You're so quick to say freezer, freezer, freezer. And then you're going, I'm not going to freeze. I kind of like it cold. Now, I got an incredible show tonight, folks. I have what has turned out to be one of the greatest adventures from Michael Schofield. It's most likely the last show I'm ever going to have of his work. He I asked him to do this a little while ago, and at first he goes, no problem, that's easy. Then after about 10 days, he writes me back, and he just 3 words, damn you, Barry. And then 2 weeks pass, he writes me again and says, I curse you. I asked Michael a question. I asked Michael Schofield if you watched the Johnny Cash movie Walk the Line, when Joaquin Phoenix, playing Johnny Cash, had the Sam Phillips meeting when he brought himself and the Tennessee 2, and they play for about a minute and a half, and Sam Phillips says, stop. You got anything else? And Johnny Cash says, no. He goes, wait a minute, I only played for a minute. You didn't let me bring it home. And that's when Sam Phillips starts laughing, goes, bring it home? Bring it home? Mr. Cash, if you were hit by a car and you were dying in that ditch out there, and you have time to sing one song, only one song, one song to tell God and everybody else what you thought about your time on this planet? You're telling me you sing that same Jimmy Davis song that we hear 100 times a day about how you love it, how you shout about it? You sing something real. You sing it's a song that can truly save people. And that's when he came up with a song he had written in the Air Force. So I asked Michael several months ago, Michael, I asked him the same question. Michael, if you got hit by a car, you're dying, you got time to paint just a handful of paintings, what are you going to paint? And he took it very seriously. The first 2 days he was kind of laughing about it. Then he started thinking about it. And he wrote me a handwritten of the different 5 stages of his life. And I will read them to you as the show goes on. But just to give you a sense, because I'm going to come back to these a little later. Can you go to the one over there, Wilson? Number 1, up against, yes. History, painting 1. Always moving, never stable. 12 times till I ran away at 13. He had moved 12 times. His dad was in the military. They had some other problems. And he is trying to show you that feeling in a painting. 2719. What is it? 2719. 2719. Patty, and I got a little bit of it on camera, she started not to tear up over this one painting. This painting made her so emotional because she could see it. She could feel the emotion. I have 5 paintings like that. That was painting number 1. And he goes through some tough times. I mean, and let's see, where's number 4? We'll get to it in a second. Right here, Wilson. Painting number 4. And he puts 45 to 65. Probably the worst, probably the most difficult times. Worked, divorced, prison, lawsuits, moved to Vegas, trouble never far behind. And we're talking about that one. Yeah, right there. He spent more time working on these paintings. He surprised me. And, you know, it's like, and the only thing I could think about after I saw them all in order is, it was like Tom Cruise in Vanilla Skies when he was cryogenically reawoken. And the narrator says, a fantastic journey through reawakening. This is Schofield talking about his life. So we're going to be getting to these in a little while. Yes. Say what now? Let me think. Now, I want to show you this right here. That is Renoir. Well, this is homage. What do they call it, homage? Is it homage or homage? What? Homage? Are you telling me I'm saying homage wrong? How do you say it, Wilson? Homage. Homage. Okay. So someday, if I became a cowboy, they could have Barry Chappell's Homage to Home on the Range. Are you sure it's homage? You're just trying to embarrass me? Both. Okay. This is the first Zax I've ever seen him do. Homage. Did I say it right? Do you put any emphasis on different syllables? Is it homage? Or is it homage? Or do you say it quick, homage? How do you say it, Wilson? Homage. Homage. Oh. No, say it again.
There's several ways you can say it.
All right, the way you said it. Homage. Homage. Homage to Renoir. Well, this is an original, a unique original done by Zax. Zax, some of his first of a kinds and his unique originals. And that's what this is. It's more of a unique original. There's never two of the same series alike. And he just, I have it in his folder. Homage. Ashley, what auction house was that in L.A.? Julian's. $10,500 for a little sculpture. Now, I like Zach's. I am a fan of Zach's. He keeps going up and up and up. He is a self-taught, and you can see some of the prices. Here is $5,000 on Fragile by Zach's. It's about the same size as the one I have here. Here is a story in Art World News about Zach's. I was told that a couple galleries that do have Zach's there, when they got a painting like homage, they say right, homage, to Renoir, they would put them up for $12,500. Yeah, $12,500 in the gallery. Now, we're not in the gallery, and it took me a minute and a half to learn how to say homage. All right. How do you say margarine? Is it butter or margarine? No, I'm just having fun with Wilson. All right, so we got homage to Renoir, $12,500, and on the back you have the cert, and it's actually a resume of Zach's and all of his one-man shows. Tell you what, and if you think Wilson's wrong, and you think Juliet is wrong, and Patty's wrong, and Matt left is wrong, who's Matt right now? That's Adrian. Yes. And Ashley is wrong, and you don't think I should freeze Ginger. I think they should call you up, Ashley. Yeah, because I don't know. To date, they have never brought a person back. They brought a fish back. Just one fish. Flipper? No, flopper? I don't know. He looked a little dazed when they woke him up, but anyway, so you got a 12.5. Here's what I'm going to do just to see if anybody's watching, because I got, and these are the last Schofields. They are it. This is it. Michael's done. He's done. And he has spent 2 months, and boy, he got mad at me at different stages going, because I really challenged him, and then he challenged himself far greater than I ever thought he could. So on this, you ever see anything by Renoir? Wilson, you ever go to the Louvre? Have you been to the Louvre? Have you been to the Louvre, Wilson? No, you didn't stop at the Louvre in Paris? I touched a lot of paintings in the Hermitage in St. Petersburg. I touched the dance 4 times and it kept moving. But anyway, here's what I want to do. Come in close on this lady, because here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you guys a deal of a lifetime. Oh, this is too cheap. Oh my gosh, look at that. Got a little girl.
What did they say?
You know what that little girl is saying to her mom or her aunt there? I am being put in a painting that is a homage. Can you spell homage, Mommy? Or she could say, Mommy, Mommy dearest.
Did
No, I'm sorry. All right, I'll tell you what.
Yeah, so they probably,
1,500 to open. $200 increments once we get the open. That's too cheap. That's a unique original by Zach's. He is showing up in more and more major auction houses. And to get possibly the first homage right here to Renoir. Renoir was one of the initial impressionistic artists where they used shadows, lights, and colors to create mood and atmosphere over exact painting. They wanted to convey a mood. They wanted to convey in this one what a Paris park in 1898, 1902 might have felt like. And then Zach's adds all the abstract art to it. Yeah. I don't know. You have a pet, Juliet. How old is your dog? 18. What is your dog's name? Juanita. Would you freeze Juanita? Now, don't you have a husband and kids and all that? No. The hell with them. I'm just taking Juanita. They can fend for themselves in the post-apocalyptic world. All right, well, I am going to move off of that for a second. Keep an eye on this one. And what I am going to do is just put it right here for right now. And I am going to put this up here. You know what this is, Wilson? It's a guitar player from your era. Where should I put this? I'll put it somewhere. You know who that is?
I do.
Who is it?
Ronnie Wood.
Ronnie Wood. Who does Ronnie Wood play for?
Stones.
The Rolling Stones. Yes. This was a lithograph that Ronnie Wood did. It's number 355 of 600 International Edition. And he signed it, Ronnie. Ronnie, in his book, 591, and this is the only other Ronnie Wood book I have. He didn't sign this book, but it talks about how he wanted to be an artist, and he's had quite a few shows where his originals paintings go for gabillions of dollars, and his love of art is in this book and all these pictures of a young Ronnie Wood. And I just want to see this. Yeah. He looks pretty night job. Look at that. That's Ronnie Wood. Can you play the guitar, Wilson? You tried, though, with Roy Clark's big no guitar book. Do you remember that? Roy Clark's big note guitar book? Oh, my God. I'm getting too old. I just want to double check, make sure this isn't sold, because I'm going to give this book to whoever buys this last. Cover's ripped a little bit, but here's what I'm going to do. the last Ronnie Wood signed lithograph right there. Signed by Ronnie Wood. I've seen these go for crazy money. Like that one lithograph I had here, my gosh. Those are going for 20, 30, 40,000 at some of his events. Not on prime time, but if Ronnie Wood's there, it goes for big money. Tell you what I'm going to do. Retail, I'm going to put it at 1,800. It's signed by Ronnie Wood. It's an international edition of 600. Come in close on that little kid's face, Wilson. Something looks wrong with that little kid. Darn it, I know what's wrong with that little kid. Can you see it, Juliet? Can you see what's wrong with that little kid? Can you tell? Patty, can you tell what's wrong with that little kid? It's blatantly obvious to me. No, that little kid was cryogenically frozen and broken up. And it had kind of affected his face. So that's what they're still working on in cryogenics. I have no idea about cryogenics. I'll tell you what. 1,200 or 1,800. I'll tell you what. Start at 0. You get the book and the signed little lithograph there. This is not 29 inches, Ashley.
Oh, remember your Ronnie Wood picture?
Yeah, that's gone. Yeah.
Is this wood etching?
Yes.
1361?
1361. And that should be like 6 by 8 or something.
No, there's no. Is it numbered?
Yes.
Yeah,
I'll tell you what. Start at 0, $75 increments. You get an unsigned book and a signed Ronnie Wood, where he is delicately showing his concerns about cryogenics. Yeah, but this is not, yeah, you got a 5.5, yeah. Yeah, you got it. Nobody that's Ronnie Wood's signature. The guitarist. What about the kids in the background? Are they normal, Wilson? Or are they zombies, or have they been cryogenically awakened? That's in a woman? Oh, that's why it says Oriental on it. I think it's something he did for their Oriental tour. No $75 bid. That's Ronnie Wood's autograph. No open once. No open twice. Fair and final warning. We'll take that down. All right, Wilson, help me out here. Is Rob Reiner the old man or the son? I'm talking.
Well, Rob is the son. Carl's the father.
Carl, yeah, Carl played Alan Brady, and Rob Reiner put together a few good things. What? No, a few. What was that movie with Tom Cruise? They were Marines. Tom Cruise was the defense attorney.
A few good men.
A Few Good Men. Well, Rob Reiner drew this for charity to help homeless, the Father Francis Church of St. John's the Baptist, 210 West 31st Street, New York, 10117. So that is Rob Reiner, also known and all in the family as Meathead. So I'll tell you what, I don't know how many doodles you will ever find did he win an Academy Award for that, or no, was he nominated, or I don't know. We don't know. Tell you what, start at zero, $25 increments. You got a drawing drawn by Rob Reiner. We drew good eye movement in himself. I mean, he's looking at something there, Wilson. So he's thinking of himself maybe as a director?
Can I still get that wood for $75?
Yes. Is it gone? Yeah, it's the last one I got, too.
Is it?
Yes.
You want an Emmy?
So,
You want an Emmy? Twice? 2 Emmys?
Rob Reiner. So I got a double Emmy winner. And, what's the item number on this, Ashley?
Oh, is this Rob Reiner?
Yeah. Start at zero, $25 increments. Adrian, I'll give you the number, and let's get this.
Oh, he directed When Harry Met Sally.
Directed When Harry Met Sally.
How do you spell?
And what?
What's his name? Rob Reiner?
Yeah. So, yeah, Adrian just built me a graphic board. Rob Reiner.
Oh, I found it.
What?
2181.
2181. Start at zero, $25 increments.
The Ronnie Wood is sold.
Oh, thank you. I will hand this to Ashley, the Ronnie Wood.
Thank you.
Ashley, the Whistler.
I love Whistle. Whistle while you work.
All right, I'm looking for the open on Rob Reiner. Won 2 Emmys. Directed When Harry Met Sally and A Few Good Men. And that was drawn by him for charity, looking for an opening bid of $25. How many of you would cryogenically freeze yourself? Not because of sickness or a condition.
I would.
You would? I'd do it if I could do it for like 3 years. But, once they put you under, I've been put under for surgery a couple times. It's amazing because they say count backwards and you're under for like an hour, 2, 3, 4 hours, but you count backwards and you open your eyes and there's no sense of time. It's like, what happened? How come I'm not under yet? Would it be like that, or would it be like Tom Cruise and Vanilla Skies when there's a glitch in the system? No open once on Rob Reiner. Maybe Rob Reiner drew a Rob Reiner looks a little too shifty-eyed. Maybe people don't trust Rob Reiner in this one. All right, I like Rob Reiner, but I'm going to leave that one alone. All right. What if I brought up a bona fide Academy Award winner? Man that won an Academy Award. A man that was in Top Gun Maverick. A man that was in the movie Jackson Pollock. A man like Ed Harris. What did Ed Harris win the Academy Award for? Was it Pollock or was it the one that they went under the water? That is drawn by Ed Harris. He drew that for, this is BC 2186. He drew this in 2009. It was invoiced in the 2012 auction. And look what he writes. Just Ed Harris, 10-109. That's like a self-portrait. So, Adrian, this is 2186. Now this is, he's won an Academy Award, right? Juliet, you're good at this. What did he won an Academy Award for?
He's received 4 nominations.
4 nominations.
He's won Emmys and a Tony Award.
Won an Emmy, a Tony, and been nominated 4 times, but hadn't taken home. The Truman Show, Pollock, which ones?
The Hours.
The Hours?
Apollo 13.
Yeah, Apollo 13, yeah. Yeah, tell you what, this is a very valuable one. I would, if I had to guess, the chances of getting an Academy nominated, it was nominated for 4 Academy Awards, hadn't won one, but he's run, what else did he win? A Tony.
And he's been nominated for 1, 2, 3, 5 Emmys.
5 Academy Awards, been nominated. All right, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to say in today's market, I mean, that's Ed Harris. I'm going to say it's got to be $2,800, $3,000 to get an Ed Harris drawing. And he drew a combination of himself and Jackson Pollock. I mean, you ever see Jackson Pollock? Wilson, did you see that movie? Is that Ed Harris drawing himself or drawing Jackson Pollock? Tell you what, I'm going to give someone a deal of a lifetime. $300 to open, $100 increments. If you're an Ed Harris fan, this is the ultimate Ed Harris. Fan club. I hope everybody's having a great Wednesday night. I have some of the most amazing art pieces coming up in a minute. $300 to open. $300 to open. $100 increments. You got a drawing of Ed Harris by Ed Harris that he painted in 2001. That's a pretty cool drawing he did. You know, these actors, dancers, I mean, they're creative. They can draw. I'm still worried about you, Wilson. In the early 70s, you never heard about the Roy Clark big note banjo or guitar training book. Okay. No open once. No open twice. I got something really cool that I was going to take the Long Beach Coin and Sports Show, which is next week, Ashley. I know. Yes. Who was one of the greatest basketball coaches, college basketball coaches that lived and died? He had more class than anybody you could ever imagine. I'm talking about John Thompson, a Georgetown Hoya. He was one of the all-time great college basketball coaches. John Thompson. He painted this for Father Francis Church of St. John the Baptist in New York. And he died. When did John Thompson die? Let's find that out.
2020.
What?
August 2020.
Just 3 years ago. August of...
78.
How old did he make it?
78.
78. Look at that. That is the John Thompson. He won. Didn't they win a Final Four or NCAA? Anyway, I'll tell you what. This has got to be to have the legendary, the late great John Thompson. Retail on this. Oh, item number BC 2175. Does that look right? Yeah. John Thompson. Oh, retail would be $3,500. I mean, he died. He was one of the greatest head coaches. He had more class. He made sure the kids that went to his college, conducted themselves well, learned well, and were just great people. Yeah, retail $3,500. Tell you what, let's just see if he's watching me. Ashley, this is just a marketing test. $100 to open, $50 increments. That is the John Thompson. You know, some people, and I don't condone or not condone this, but some people will swim in cryogenics. I have been told what they do is to save money, they chop their head off. They just freeze their brain and their head.
Will you come back without your head?
Well, hopefully, in thousands of years, they'll be able to attach it to something.
What about Ginger's head?
No, we're going to keep Ginger fully intact. Oh, Juliet. Juliet. Well, that is the John Thompson. $100 to open if you're interested. I'm going to move on. I'll tell you what I got here. I got something I'm taking to Long Beach. I don't know what it's worth. I got an idea. Wilson, do you like baseball? I love baseball. And it's funny because this was my favorite team for a long time, the Oakland A's. This happened in 1989. This was the Bay Bridge Series. This is Game 3. San Francisco against Oakland, October 17th, 1989. 1989. 1989. 1989. 1989. 1989. 1989. 1989. 1989. 1989. 1989. 1989. 1989. 1989. 1989. 1989. 1989. 1989. 1989. 1989. 1989. 1989. 1989. 1989. 1989. 1989. 1989. 1989. 1989. 1989. 1989. 1989. 1989. 1989. 1989. 1989. 1989. 1989. 1989. 1989. 1989. 1989. 1989. 1989. 1989. 1989. 1989. 1989. 1989. 1989. 1989. 1989. 1989. 1989. 1989. 1989. 1989. 1989. 1989. 1989. 1989. 1989. 1989. 1989. 1989. 1989. 1989. 1989. 1989. 1989. 1989. 1989. 1989. 1989. 1989. 1989. 1989. 1989. 1989. 1989. 1989. 1989. 1989. 1989. 1989. 1989. 1989. 1989. 1989. 1989. 1989. 1989. 1989. 1989. 1989. 1989. that has been over it, you see San Francisco Giants post office. Do you know what happened during Game 3 in 1989, Wilson? There was an earthquake. And what's that? A big one, yeah. It's funny because that day I was teaching at Merritt College in Oakland. I was, and I was in the bathroom, and the bathroom was built like into the ground, and there's this earthquake, and I'm in a bathroom stall, and I come out like 3 minutes later, and all these people are running around screaming. I'm going, what did I miss? And apparently I did not feel the earthquake. And then I drove home to my dog Gusher. And after I then, later that year, I got a job teaching in Peninsula College in Port Angeles, Washington. But this is from the game that never played. And I have no idea, but it seems very valuable. Oakland A's are soon to probably be the Las Vegas A's. And I have no idea. It wouldn't surprise me if this is a $4,000 or $5,000 item, because you had to be smart enough on this day, when the earthquake happened, be smart enough to go to the San Francisco Giants at the game, straight upstairs to their post office, get one stamped, and save it, and then drive home. And it was a weird drive. I mean, people were shaking. There were car wrecks everywhere on the Bay Bridge. But anyway, what do you think this is worth? And do we have an item number on the 1989 Game 3 World Series? The Bay Bridge World Series. The game that didn't happen. 2077. I mean, this is so rare. I was going to take this to Long Beach tomorrow or Friday, but I said I never compete with my customers. I have no idea. What do you think it's worth, Wilson? If you got to make a guess. 1,200. Okay. A little low, but I'm going to go with it. I'm going to know you're being smart. Wilson's guess is 1,200. I have no idea, but I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I think it's worth more than that, Wilson, but because if you did this, talking 89, 99, 09, 19, 34 years ago, and this is in mint condition with the Lou Gehrig stamp, tell you what, $350 to open, which seems incredibly cheap. $350 to open, $150 increments once we get the open. So what could go wrong if I did freeze myself? I bought a kit to build a cryogenic chamber. But I think I told this to a person I know, and you know what she said to me? I said, what could go wrong? She said, nothing. It's kind of like the Easy Bake Oven. Apparently a lot of people burn their house down with the Easy Bake Oven. No one wants to open on the game that never happened at $350 to open. Okay, I'm going to take this to Long Beach Sports Deal. Okay. Here's what I'm going to also move to. Do you ever watch the movie Airplane, Wilson? That was the coolest movie, 1980. And there was an actor in there, Robert Stack. He was the original Untouchable. And he was the one that would be on the phone with Stryker. Stryker, you ever wake up in the morning, get kicked in the head with an iron boot? No, you didn't. Of course you haven't. No one has. But I just want to bring a point home. And his wife was a little funny with the horse and everything. But anyway, A Cool Cat by Robert Stack. Robert Stack painted this for Doodles for Hunger, Father Francis, Church of St. John the Baptist in New York City. I don't know. What would you say a Robert Stack is worth? I'll tell you what I'm going to do. It's got to be because he's dead, right? When did Robert Stack die?
In 2000, May 2003, 84 years old.
84 years old. He was the original Untouchable in the series. I'll tell you what, started zero, $50 increments on a drawing done by, what do you see? What do you see? He won an Emmy for Airplane? The Untouchables, yeah. Started zero, $25, $50 increments. Make it $30 increments on Robert Stack. Juliet, when you were a little kid, did your parents give you an easy bake oven? No. Patty, when you were a little kid, did you have a easy bake oven? Did it really make anything? With that light bulb? No open on Robert Stack at $30 to open. All right. One thing is, Robert Stack is dead. So you know what that means, Wilson? In a month, he's still going to be dead. All right. Now, all right, one more that I'm going to... right here. Oh, this is one of my favorites. This is the last living cast member from Gilligan's Island. Tina Louise, a movie star. Louise. What's that? Tina Louise, 89? Well, she's doing a lot better than Robert Stack. Yeah. Yeah, let me see what I can do here. But what does that say from Tina Louise? When I grow up, I want to be catatonically frozen. No, that's me. Tina Louise, the last living castaway. $100 to open. And on Tina Louise, I got 9 minutes. All right. Then I am going to auction off one more. I'm going to start at 0 from a man that should have gotten far more praise. All right. Nobody on Tina Louise, the movie star. Everybody always would ask, do you like Marianne better or Ginger? Ginger Grant, the movie star. I thought the funny ones were the Howells. I wonder how many people in the last 40 years, Wilson, has canceled a 3-hour Hawaiian cruise, all because of Gilligan's Island. I mean, there's got to be 10 or 20 people who go, I don't want to end up like Gilligan here. Yeah. I'm going to do the last one, and I'm going to start at 0. And I think this next guy has talent. He's been in quite a few movies, and he got his fame in Cocoon. I am talking about Steve Guttenberg. Now, Steve Guttenberg painted this in 04, okay. 03 of 4, March 4th. March of 04. Right there. That is the Steve Guttenberg. You remember Cocoon? Yes. And he got to have futuristic sex with Raquel Welch's daughter, but they only touch each other and they go, Zlah! Yeah. Then he took a major role in Police Academy. That is the Steve Guttenberg. Let's just see something right now. How old is actor Steve Guttenberg?
Steve Guttenberg is 65 years old.
Yes. Yes. Well, yeah, you got it faster than Siri. Siri, you weren't the quickest one on that last answer.
Is there something else I can help with?
No, I'm good now, Siri.
Okay.
Start at 0. That's very colorful. That's Steve Guttenberg. Start at 0, $25 increments. So this was done 19 years ago. And what is that of, Wilson? That's a happy face. There's 2 happy faces. That was to raise money for the homeless. That was Steve Guttenberg. $25 increments. a single bid could take Steve Gutenberg. And hey, what if Steve Gutenberg at 65 has a resurgence in his career? And he goes on to win like 20 Academy Awards, Wilson. Or, let's say the reverse happens, Patty. Steve Gutenberg goes the Wilson way, takes a lot of acid, and all of a sudden he becomes a psychotic killer. He becomes the Steve Gutenberg killer. And he ends up on Forensic Files. You ever watch that, Wilson? Steve Gutenberg. From humor and acting to eek, eek, eek. And you could own the only original Steve Gutenberg I have for $25. And we have, right now, nobody. 9 yet. Nicht. People online for Steve Gutenberg. Is he not that popular anymore? You ever see him in Police Squad? Police Academy, yeah.
He was also in Three Men and a Baby.
He was in Three Men and a Baby?
With Tom Selleck and Ted Danson.
Yeah, he was with that real good-looking guy. Who was that? Who's the real good-looking guy in Three Men and a Baby? He's got the Tom Selleck. He's also in Cocoon. Yes. How come that didn't sell, Ashley? Could you interpret what Steve Gutenberg is saying to all of us?
He is saying the yin and the yang, happy as a clam.
Yin and yang, happy as a clam.
Yeah.
All right, well, all right, I'm going to go. All right, Wilson,
Angel baby.
I only got like 3 minutes before dish is on. This is hubba, 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 yowza, yowza, yowza time. All right, this is a Charlie Angels. This is Cheryl Ladd. Look at that. This is Yowza Yowza, Hubba Hubba Hubba, Charlie's Angels. This is Cheryl Ladd. Thank you for being something. What does that say there, Wilson? Thank you for being an angel. Wishing with love, Cheryl Ladd. And look, she drew an angel. Yeah. Wilson, I can't say that on TV. I got to turn off the mic to tell that to the operators. Then people watching will go, why didn't you tell us? And the reason is because it's not funny, Wilson. I don't mean to be mean to you, but it's not funny. Start at zero, $25 increments. How often you're going to get a Charlie Angel, one of Charlie's Angels, to sign and draw a picture for you that you can buy for $25. Unheard of. I would say if you were at one of the shops in Hollywood or around there, they'd want $500, $600, $700 at least. Am I on dish? Come to me. Hello, Dish Network, Barry Chappell. Coming to you live. I'm glad you're here. We've been dealing with all kinds of stuff. We need the help of the Dish audience. Once again, I have a moral dilemma here. I'm talking about cryogenics. I am 62. I was planning on freezing myself till a week before I'm 100, but I won't be 100 because if they wake me up right, I'll still be 62. But then the dilemma came to, what do I do with my great dog, Ginger? And somebody says, you got to take Ginger with you. So then I need a second cryogenic cylinder. And to date, nobody's ever been woken up cryogenically. But I just wanted to know what I should do. I'm going to get my Social Security because I'll be dead. No, I'll disappear. I'll have someone pronounce me legally dead. No, I'm not dead, so I'll get my Social Security. Yeah, I'm still alive. Why wouldn't I get Social Security? All right, nobody wants Cheryl Ladd. All right. Now, and nobody took my game that didn't happen because of an earthquake. All right, we'll talk about that in a little bit. I want to tell you something that happened that I think is absolutely fantastic. I'm going to put Cheryl Ladd back. Listen, I can't say that on TV. I just can't. It wasn't funny, Wilson. Wilson, if one is kind of maybe, if I really, people felt really bad for you, they might maybe chuckle. That was a -4. No, they can't say it on TV, Wilson. Anyway, he was talking about Cheryl Ladd. Anyway, folks, about a month ago, I challenged, 5 weeks ago, Michael Schofield to a contest. I told Michael, because I had watched Walk the Line, the movie with Joaquin Phoenix, talking about playing Johnny Cash. And there was a scene when Sam Phillips, Johnny Cash actually set up an audition with Johnny Cash and his bandmates, the Tennessee Two, to see Sam Phillips. And Johnny Cash, the character in the film, played for about a minute, and Sam Phillips is sitting there listening, and he goes, hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it, and he stops him. He goes, do you have anything else? And Johnny Cash looks baffled, and Johnny says, why'd you stop us? He says, I can't market gospel like that. And Johnny Cash says, what do you mean? He says, I can't market something that won't sell, and gospel done like that won't sell. And Johnny Cash asked him, was it the song or was it the way I was singing it? And he says, both. And then Johnny Cash got a little mad and said, what do you mean the way I'm singing it? And he says, I don't believe you. And then Johnny Cash got mad and said, you saying I don't believe in God? And Sam Phillips said, no, I am saying the way you sing it, you don't sound like you believe in God. Because we've heard that way of singing it all day long on the radio, just like that, talking about how you're so excited, how you're going to shout about it. And Johnny Cash got madder and says, we didn't let us bring it home. And then Sam Phillips says, bring it home? Mr. Cash, if you were hit by a car and laying out there in a ditch, and you had time to sing only one song before your dirt, one song to sum up how you feel about your time on earth, And you had one time to sing one song to God about this? You tell me you'd sing that same Jimmy Davis tune? Or would you sing something real? Because people want to hear something real. It's not about how much you believe in God, it's how much you believe in yourself. And if you sing something real, that will really save people. And I played that to Michael Schofield 2 months ago. And he took it to the limit. At first, he said, no problem, no problem. And then 2-3 days later, he writes me back. He goes, this is a serious assignment. And then 4 days after that, he writes me back, darn you. He didn't say darn, but you get the word Barry Chappell. This is tough. And then a week and a half after that, he goes, I have spent more time on this than anything. P.S. I curse you. And then he took to it and he delivered 5 paintings. And he wrote a letter to me. And I'm going to give everybody who buys one of the 5 a copy. This was Michael Schofield. And this is most likely the last Schofields I'm ever going to get. Unless I do a big dealer buyout. But this is it for Michael. But I want to show you something. Ashley, I am going to start with the history. And everybody that buys one will get a copy of this letter. This piece right here brought Patty to light tears. This is piece number 1. Now this is what Michael wrote. And like I said, this is a lot for Michael. He wrote about the period in his life, what he was going through. And I just want to read this to you right here. History. Piece number 1, always moving, never stable. Moved 12 times till I ran away at the age of 13. His dad was in the military. And so this is Michael Schofield showing you an unstable household that he grew up in. And that was painting number 1.
2719.
What's the item number?
2719.
2719. I have never seen Michael dig so deep. In the 30 years, 28 years I have known him. And this is it for Michael. I mean, he has done some amazing work. But he, like I said at the beginning, he's cursing me. And at first says, no problem, Barry. Then about a week later goes, oh my goodness. And then he starts cursing me. Painting number 2. This one right over here? Yes. This is Michael Schofield's life in 5 paintings. He entitled this one Young Adult. Signed Schofield, 23 on the back. From 17, dropped out of high school, worked, joined the Marines, went to art school, art student, 13 to 25. This is what that period meant to him. The way he painted these trees, the light mist, the fog, he's trying to figure his life out. He went from an unstable household to 2, dropped out of high school, worked, joined the Marines, went to art school, art studios, and this was his period from 13 to 25. This is a type of work that Michael Schofield put in to these paintings. Now, number 3.
Right there, wait. No.
Here is number 3. Adult. Look at this. That is the greatest Schofield I've ever seen him paint. I've seen him paint some great ones. You know, Michael Schofield's in the $1 billion Arm & Hammer collection. He's in the Smithsonian. He's in the Library of Congress collection. But this is one of the greatest. I'm going to set it up a little. There we go. Let me read what he wrote about 3. Teaching painting. Marriage. Nashville. Back to LA. More work. Contacting publishers. Years of trouble and work. 25 to 45. Look at that. This is one of the pieces that brought Patty to tears. And nothing brings Patty to tears easily. I mean, I was very surprised when I saw Patty. She was really tearing up, especially on painting 1, but look at that. That is the single greatest, one of the greatest paintings I've ever seen Michael Schofield paint. He has sold paintings for hundreds of thousands of dollars. He's been a lifelong artist. Now I am going to show you painting 4. And I hope you're out there tonight because this is one of the greatest collections. And after knowing Michael this long, this is midlife. Now look at that coloring. 45 to 65. Probably the most difficult times. Work, divorce, prison. What's the next word? After prison?
Lawsuits?
What?
Lawsuits.
Lawsuits, moving to Vegas, trouble never far behind. His prison was over child support. And now his daughter is like the closest friend he's got. He has become the greatest grandfather. But anyway, look how he shows this period of 45 to 65. How do you paint something like that? You will get a copy of this letter. Well, someone's going to get the original, and we'll keep a copy. But there we go. Then it comes to the last one. Right here. This one is painting 5, entitled Till Now. And Michael writes on Till Now, 65 to now. He's 76 now. Life has calmed down, but has changed and still abstracts. And what's the next word, Ashley? Yes, still abstract and always showing different paths. Abstract is how he ends the letter. You guys can read his writing easier than me. That's what he wrote right there for the last chapter of his life. And here were the first for all in his own work. Now, folks, this is a collection of collections here. This is it. And what I want to do, I don't know if I want to. I'm going to show you a couple things. Give me 1 second. Just don't you fall off. Here is when he painted for Hub's Historical. This was an ad in 2007. Before the Rain, $42,000. Here is one called Poplar Grove. Online for $48,500. He did a lot of the painting for the artwork for Stephen J. Canal Productions. They did shows in the 70s and early 80s. Shows like Dallas, shows like, well, I don't know how much they were involved in Dallas. I should take that back. Shows like the Rockford Files, shows like Emergency, shows like that, Stephen J. Canal Productions. So a lot of people look at Michael Schofield and they got a flashback. Didn't I see a painting like that on the Brady Bunch? Maybe, because that's what Michael Schofield did. Michael Schofield is in the $1 billion, with a B, Arm & Hammer collection. He is in the Library of Congress collection, the Smithsonian collection. It ain't easy getting a painting in the Smithsonian. Now, Ashley, Patty, let me ask you guys this. Should I run a 10-minute film on Michael, or should I just go right now to the artwork? What do you say? She says, show. Folks, please give all 5 of these as much consideration. This is a man that spent 5 decades, he's 76, painting. Ran away when he was 13. Joined the military. Has done everything and seen it. This is like 9 minutes long, is that right, Wilson? 10 minutes. Then we're going to come back and we're going to auction each one of these off. And this is it. This is Michael, 2 months of work, 2.5, cursing me, but thanking me. Take a look at this.
I'm Michael Schofield. I'm an impressionist landscape artist. Landscapes are probably what I enjoy doing the most. And I think one of the reasons I enjoy doing what I do because I enjoy being in nature. Landscapes to me speaks to who and what I am. I enjoy the outside. I love looking at different parts of the country. Every different part of the country is unique in its area. Landscapes are what I enjoy painting more than anything else. When I'm looking at a landscape, the first thing I do is to see the depth of the piece and how I'm going to create the depth. How am I going to create the foreground and the middle ground and the background? And what it is that I'm going to have to do in order to jump over the hurdles it's going to take in order to get that particular scene on canvas. Do I frame it right to left? Do I move these trees here? Do I bring a brook through the center of the piece? Do I bring it from left to right? You know, what's intriguing about this particular scene? taking out all of the small details that don't make any sense and just getting the essence of the piece. That's what I do. That's what I envision when I first see the landscape. I think an artist's job is to interpret what the creator has laid out for us. We're just basically taking snapshots of that, putting in our own interpretation of it, our own feelings, our own emotion, and then presenting that to the viewers or to the public. That's art to me. So it really is just it's a statement of what we are and who we are, and it's translated through, in my case, landscapes. The idea of becoming an artist didn't really hit until high school. And it was one of those rainy days when the music instructor was filling in for the English teacher that couldn't make it to school. So he whipped out his watercolor palette and paints and a piece of watercolor paper and did a demonstration right in the class. That was his way of filling in for the teacher. And well, I watched him do that. And I still remember what he painted. He painted an old railroad ties and some water in between the ties and a couple of trees above it and reflecting in the waters. And I thought, wow, that's what I want to do. Your life changes quickly, and the direction changes quickly. And then I think a lot of it is just following the path. We don't choose our career, it chooses us. I think that's very true. I think as long as you keep moving, that career will catch up to you, or you'll find the right spot to walk into, or the right position to be in at the right time. The doors open, you walk through them, see what's on the other side. I did a couple of one-man shows down in Florida. I think probably one of the more interesting one was what I did in Cleveland, a real wet, cold, snowy night. I really didn't think that I would have anybody show up for the show because it was so cold and miserable. We ended up having 1,100 people show up for the event. We sold almost everything in the entire show, and the party didn't stop until about 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. And those were fun. We had a lot of people show up in those days, all throughout Tennessee, Alabama, Mississippi, Georgia. I did that for probably 10 years. There was a lot of shows. The most posters I think I had in one particular catalog was about 25. Back in the 90s, I think there was a few catalog companies that had 10 or 15, but I think Editions Limited had up to about 25 pieces. Interestingly enough, some of the pieces are still in catalogs dating back into the early 90s. And then you start to realize that all the millions of posters you're selling happen to find their way in front of the public. And I think that's when you start to realizing that you're actually fairly famous in this game. Well, I spent 10 years in Nashville, in that area. And I think a lot of the subject matter that I paint today comes out of that era and out of that area. Tennessee and Kentucky and Alabama, Mississippi, and even upstate New York. I love that area up there. You know, big pines, the big beech trees, the big birches. I think a lot of that that I do today is reminiscent of those areas and of that subject matter. I paint in California quite a bit too, like today. Those areas I think are what I enjoy painting the most. One of the more difficult things is painting on location. A lot of people say, well, you got everything right in front of you. Well, you have too much in front of you. The artist has to take all of the elements, eliminate the things you don't need in the painting, and just paint the things that you do need. And you have to deal with the light changing. It changes rapidly. You're painting the shadows on one tree and all of a sudden they're not there anymore. So you have to take a mental snapshot of the area that you're looking at and then paint that, because it's going to change 5 minutes from now. I think my paintings, they tell hope, and they tell adventure and mystery and romance, and I've been fortunate, really fortunate, to paint something that people really enjoy and feel and get inspired from and fall in love with. And I like the growing aspect of becoming a better and better artist. I don't think you ever arrive as an artist. I think you're always arriving. You're eventually going to get there. I think eventually I'll get to a point where I feel comfortable with the work. I don't think I'll ever be satisfied completely with it. I like the idea that somebody can see one of my paintings and see a part of nature that they've been in, a place that they're familiar with, a scene that they know from childhood or some time in a vacation, something like that. That's when I feel like what I do actually rings home. That's important to me. They can actually relate to the landscape. So communication between the painter and the viewer is what's important.
Chappell back with you. And over the years, I've had a lot of Michael's work. This is possibly one of the greatest collections he ever put together. He spent several months on it. At first liking me, then cursing me, then studying every last inch of it. You get a copy of the history letter. This is piece number 1. So how long have I known you now, Patty? 22 years. Patty teared up over this piece. And that's hard to get Patty to tear up. She teared up, almost started crying when I read her what Michael said about this piece. Always moving, never stable, moved 12 times. I moved 12 times till I ran away at age 13. Now, look at this. Wilson, I want to show this painting off. Patty looked at this like Minnie. She had a complete emotional reaction in a good way. She was crying. She could feel the loneliness. She could feel the sadness of having to move, never being able to make friends, having a dad that was in the military, and always not greatest family man. And so what I'm going to do, this is piece number one. This is it. I gave Michael Schofield an assignment. I don't know how I'm ever going to get any more. Don't know if this is the 5 paintings of his lifetime. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I value this because I've seen him sell paintings for 40 and 50,000. I've seen him sell originals to some of the posters for 60 and 70,000. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to make this so affordable. This painting invokes so much emotion. And on the back, it says Schofield 23 Childhood. Oh, this is too cheap, folks. Everybody that saw this painting, Matt was just couldn't stop staring at it. Patty was tearing up. She's still tearing. She's tearing up right now. When I read his letter, I'm going to put a retail on this at $35,000 because this is one of the greatest assignments Michael has ever done. He has sold many paintings for more than $35,000. But here's what I'm going to do. $3,500 to open. $200 increments once we get the open. This is one of the greatest paintings. Look at the greens. The green, cream colory mixed with green in that sky to make you feel concerned, apprehensive, emotionally going, I feel something, it's not great. How do you show instability on a 30 by 40 surface without a camera of a person with a gun to him? Painting a landscape style, Michael has shown you total insecurity, moving 12 times before the age of 13 when he ran away. He was never close to his dad and his mom for that, but a little bit closer to his grandmother. Look at this. Any open at $3,500. This is painting number one, the one that gets us all going. Patty, what part of this painting makes you cry so much?
It's the road. It's like, him just trying to find himself. It's just, that's what I see. Just like a lost soul.
This road, a lost soul. Michael is trying to find himself. Can you see that there? Now get out of the light. You see that road to that unstable house. And that green mixed with cream. Folks, get me as close as you can. Call the phone bank. I mean, this painting took him forever. He was talking about 3 days, 4 days in this assignment. He's sending me mean texts. Damn you. Stuff like that. That's a hard painting to paint honestly. He could have painted some scene from Florida or somewhere, tropical in this, but he didn't. He said, this is what my first 13 years of life were like. With my dad in the military. And apparently, he get a few drinks into me, wasn't the kindest guy. So any interest in this, get me as close to $3,500 as you can, because this is a stunning painting. Nah, Ashley, I can't take that. Let's keep working on it. Nah, I can't. They're getting closer, but no. They're getting closer. Hang on.
What about the
In a second. Yeah, in a second. All right, if anybody out there, this is bottom. This is one of the greatest Schofields I've ever seen him paint. This is too cheap. I've done an awful job explaining one of the toughest time in a kid's life that shaped his entire life was growing up in that house. And he painted it honestly, and he has the rich palette to show it. 2,700. If they can come up to that or give me a 2,700, that will be theirs. But this is one of the greatest Michael Schofields I've ever seen. That's too cheap, Ashley. That's too cheap. I mean, if I can't get 27 for this, oh my goodness. Painting number 1. All right, I'm going to move this over for a second. Which one is painting number 2?
Maybe number 2 is over there. The young,
Which one?
over there, a young adult.
This one.
Mr. N wants this one.
Mr. M?
Mr. N.
Mr. N? Tell you what, for Mr. N,
This is stunning. Stunning.
stunning?
This is stunning.
It is stunning. This was Michael's greatest task to life. I mean, he took this so seriously. Michael, this is painting 2 from 17. Well, no, the first one was 13, but this one, yeah, 13 to 25. You're right. From 13, dropped out of high school, worked, joined the Marines, art school, art studio. Look at that. That is haunting. That is a Janis Joplin song using painting. That is as good of a Schofield. This could by far be the absolute best Michael Schofield.
It literally shows the trouble that young adulthood could bring, but it has hope. Look at that. You can get through it.
All right, so Ashley is saying this painting actually shows you the trouble that young adulthood can bring, but if you stay focused, follow the path, you can get through it. Tell you what, 3,000 to open. This is one of the greatest paintings I got ever from Michael Schofield. There are no more. This was a long assignment. And this was the greatest assignment Michael has completed. Once again, he has sold paintings to Stephen J. Canal Productions for $40,000 and $50,000. He has sold paintings to the Arm & Hammer billion-dollar collection for $70,000 and $80,000 at $3,000. Who is your customer thinking about this?
Mr. N.
Mr. N. Call Ashley. Let's make a deal. This is stunning. Young adult, Michael Schofield. That is as great of a painting. I can't believe I put this up that cheap. Look at that mist. I go to different auctions where they have somewhat known 1,800, 1,900 artists that they get 80, 90, 100,000. That is a painting. That is Michael telling you his life. And he painted the perfect piece for that. What does Mr. N say?
Verifying. Friday shopping, my please have your zip code. picture too, Barry, at the end, you could actually see the reflection of the sun, like there is light at the end. You can see
Right over here.
at the bottom, in the bottom, yeah, you know, when the sun hits the, yep.
Yeah. Light at the end. What do they say? And who is that? I am doing everything. You have been a great customer. I want to get this to you because when you hang this up, you're going to see that this is one of the greatest Michael Schofields he's ever painted in his entire life. I'm not going to have him. I mean, this is Michael. He's 76. He painted it. He did it. Mister, and I'm trying to make this happen. And if he is unhappy, Ashley, all he's got to do is call me. I'll make it right. This is one of the greatest paintings he has ever done. Without, this is it for him. You will never regret this one, ever. Michael writes, from 13, dropped out of high school, worked, Marines, art school, art studio, 13 to 25. Stunning. This is what the greatest artist, I've been doing this for 33 years. You could not have asked for a more self-examined artist, Michael Schofield. I want him to get this painting, Ashley. I want him to get this painting. This painting's talking to him. Look at that. Look at the color of the creek there. Ashley, let me just counter one more time. I'm doing everything I can. These, because Michael spent 2 months and I put him through boot camp on these. He has done everything on these. It is stunning. It is remarkable. I want him to get it. I really do. And Ashley, I'll pay for shipping. Take care of this painting, sir. Take care of it. Thank you. That is sold. This is the greatest Schofield I've ever seen him paint. He is... At one point, there were like 20 or 19 of his images of my mom's Editions Limited catalog. This is the greatest painting I've ever seen Michael Schofield paint. Right there. If there's one painting you got to own, it's this one. 3. Teaching, painting, marriage, Nashville, back to LA, more work, contracts, publishing, years of trouble and work, 25 to 45. That's the single greatest Schofield I have ever seen him paint. Right there. That is perfect. That is what $1 million Schofield will look like someday. Wilson, that's as good as it gets. Look at the blues. Look at that. Look at the light at the end. Patty, this is the greatest Schofield I've seen him paint. I saw him paint some, 20 years ago. He sold one for $265,000. It was a larger painting, but look at that. That's a perfect painting. If you want to buy one work of art, $3,500 to open. That is the single greatest Schofield I have seen in years. Teaching, painting. Marriage, Nashville. Back to LA. More work, contract, publishing, years of trouble and work. 25 to 45. Look how that wave builds. But off to the left you see the clear light. That's stunning. If you bought one painting for me, and I'm in my 33rd year, finished 32 years of live TV. I have been selling coins and art, and briefly, a long time ago, pocket watches on TV. Of all the paintings I've sold, this is one of the greatest ones right there. Get me close. Give me a call. She deserves it. Okay. One other one just sold. So now, here till now. This is age 65 till now. Life has calmed down, but has changed. Life has calmed down, but has changed and still abstract and always showing different paths. Then he underlined abstract. He believes, he's in love with abstract the last 15, 20 years. John Singer Sargent said you start with classical, then you move to abstract. This is beautiful. If you ever wanted to own an abstract by Michael Schofield, this is it. Till Now is the title. You know, he sold. He told me he sold 3 abstract paintings, a triptych, together for $180,000. Tell you what I'm going to do on this. He loves abstract. Now this is Michael talking, not Barry Chappell. I think when he says stuff like this, he underestimates 50 years of painting landscape. But he says when he dies, he believes some of his abstracts will be worth as much as some of his traditional landscapes or more. Tell you what I'm going to do here. I want to get everybody involved. Oh, this is painting 5 in the series. Till now. Oh, thank you, Susan. Take care of that painting. This was quite a feat by Michael. $2,500 to open. $200 increments. Hey, what does Susan think about me cryogenics? Crazy? Well, I'm not going to be the first one. I'm going to wait for somebody gets put under, then wakes up. And give it a few weeks, make sure they... This is what Michael believes will be his most valuable work. Instead of putting this up at $3,500, $4,500, or $5,000, I put this up for $2,500. All right, here's what I am going to do, Wilson. I said, here's what I'm going to do, Wilson.
Oh, okay.
What do you think I said?
I don't know, I heard Mom blow up the pot.
You need some help.
I probably will, but right now I'm trying to do this. All right, now stay. A lot of it has to do with how you tell the painting. Stay. See, Wilson, you just go stay, it will fall. Now this is Patty's favorite, and this right here has so much emotion. His childhood years. We have 3 parts of Michael Schofield's life here. This one, I think, is the greatest Schofield I've seen in years. This one right there. That is period 3, adult. And Michael writes on adult, teaching, painting, marriage, Nashville, back to LA, more work, contracting publishers, years of trouble and work, 25 to 45. Call me up. Talk to Ashley, talk to Patty, but the one you're looking at right now, I will honestly tell you, I have known Michael for well over 30 years. I met him at my mom's gallery long before I was even on TV. And I have seen and sold his work. I have watched him sell originals. I've bought originals. I've seen him win award after award. I've seen him win Outstanding Landscape Artist. I've seen people steal from him in the sense that he paints the back of certain trees purple to create a 3D effect. He does it. No one gets any credit. Then 3-4 years later, some others are doing it, and they never give him the credit. This you're looking at is one. Look at those waves. Look at him showing you on this one. Number 3, adult. Look at that. I should have put that up for $5,500, $7,500. If I was going to, if there's one that needs to go to Sotheby's, it's that one. Call me up. These are the last 3. Talk to Ashley, Patty, and Juliet, if that's really her name. All right, Gwendolyn, I've had enough. I would have believed you till I saw something that looked just like you on Forensic Files. All right, let me... I'm going to move this one away. I don't know if Freaking Melody are watching. Some of my Vegas customers are watching. Mr. M. Barbara, one of my all-time favorite customers. This is the painting of paintings. Look at this. Schofield, adult. That's as good as it gets. Look how it's bright there, but a little dark. Look at this build, this wave, build up. I think that should have been up for $7,500. That's the greatest. Make me some offers, folks. Call Barry. Whoever gets this. I'm in my 33rd year of live TV sales. We don't tape things and edit them. We don't have some director going, roll them, cut, fix that, telling somebody, cut that out. We're just live. But I got to tell you, if there was a time in my second year, my first year, a guy named Bob Hallam of Stockton, California, told me never compete with my customers. I had bought a gold coin from him, and I told Bob, I'm probably not going to show this. I'm just going to buy it myself. He said, don't do that, Barry. As my very first year, he says, never compete with your customers. And I never have. I want this painting. I think it's the greatest Schofield I've seen. The use of colors. There are probably 25 to 35 different shades of blue, royal blue, regal blue, sky blue. Then you got the purples in there, the charcoals. What? Seafoam green, yes. Call the phone bank, whoever gets this. You are getting the deal of a lifetime. Just take the price down and say, call. You ever wanted one of the greatest Schofields I've ever seen? Michael Schofield will always be remembered. He has contributed so much. Yeah, look at that. Dark size with a light. Where's the boat? Yeah, the sailboat. Yeah.
That's the boat.
Yeah, that's the boat.
That's the water that the boat's making.
That's the wake.
It's the wake for the boat. That's amazing.
That's the wake. You guys are going to throw me a wake when I croak, right?
Oh yeah, huge one.
Huge one. Third stage of Michael's life. This is what he wrote right here. Teaching, painting, marriage, Nashville, back to LA, more work, contacting, publishing, years of, what's that say? Years of trouble and work. Folks, I'm looking at this from this view. It's second to none. Call me. I don't mind owning this forever, but I never compete with customers. This is one of the greatest Michael Schofields I've ever seen. Before the show, I was predicting this would sell first and bring the most money. Shows what I know. Folks, I can feel it. Give the phone bank a call. Let me go to camera 2. Before the show, I was talking to Matt and Ashley, Patty. I was talking to Juliet, and I predicted this would go for the record. Because from where I sit, after selling art for 25, for being on TV, I'm in my 33rd year, but been selling art the whole time. It's one of the greatest Schofields I've ever seen. So I told them, they were all picking what they thought. Patty thought the one that made her cry, which is a great one, which is still left, would be there. And who do you have? Oh. This, take a look at that painting. Let's go back to the painting, yes. Pan every inch of that. This is as good as it will ever get. This is Michael Schofield, 76 years old. Who do we have there? Ashley, who do we have? Let's register him. I'll tell you what I will consider. Oh, this is too cheap. Folks, that's one of the greatest. And I might be coming on a bad night, or I might just be doing a bad job. Here's what I'm gonna write it on my hand. Yeah, that's better. I'm writing on my hand. All right. Folks, that is a 30 by 40 that is second to none. If I could see into the future, which I can't, I could see a day where this would sell for 100,000. I mean, this is Michael Schofield. Look how he puts that little bit of carnation or pink just on the tips of the waves as he's talking about adulthood. The climb to the top, the smooth body of the water to the left side. Here's what I'm thinking. This is bottom, folks. Will not, cannot, should not. How many people are watching me on the online?
30.
How much?
Oh, 30.
All right. Right there, Wilson. I did. 2,700. Rock bottom. You keep it or I keep it. 2,700. That's crazy. This should be 5,500. I sold a Michael Schofield years ago for 28,000 on my show. This is the greatest Michael Schofield, one of them. He's talking about adulthood. 2,700. Not to open, 2,700. You own it. If you don't love it, send it back. You won't, because you will be buying the greatest Michael Schofield I have seen in a long, long time. That is original oil on canvas. Signed adult, titled Adult, Michael Schofield, 2023. That's too cheap. And the phones are, how come there's a button blinking on yours? One Adam 12, one Adam 12. Please see the show host. CNN building, Hollywood. Man down. Show host grabbed chest, couldn't believe. Painting didn't sell this cheap.
Are you a poet?
What?
Are you a poet?
No, I'm not a poet. I don't know that I'm not a poet, even though my long legs show it. All right, I am moving this one away. All right.
All right.
At 2,700, Ashley.
Wow.
Now let me just, let's talk. I'm going to move Steve Gutenberg over. I want to thank all the nice people that wrote in. I got dozens and dozens. And a couple ladies, I don't want to embarrass them, but they wrote me and they said, what about your nicotine gum? What about your Mountain Dew? And they brought up a good point. Are you going to have that ready for when you awake? Or maybe they were talking about an IV when I'm in cryogenics. And just so everybody knows, I'm joking. No one has ever been cryogenically frozen and woken up yet. But I want to thank everybody about that. I got so many nice comments. Now, if you're catching me for the first time or you see me on different channels, my name is Barry Chappell. I have been selling through the method called live TV shopping. I am in my 33rd year. A lot of people, I don't know if I like the term, Wilson, but they call me a pioneer in live shopping because decades ago I said I'm coming on TV and I'm going to make sure I have the absolute best price or it doesn't get on my show. So I have always had far better prices on art and coin than anybody could even come close to. Couldn't even come within a mile. And so I challenged Michael Schofield to paint his life. And this is it for Michael. And here we got these paintings. And the one right there, that wave, is possibly the greatest Schofield I've ever seen. Over 32 years, I have sold paintings. I used to sell original Ivan Earls 12, 13 years ago. You remember that, Patty? We would sell paintings for $40,000, $50,000, $70,000. Not just one, but one after another. So I know about valuable art. I know about different schools of art. And Michael Schofield, this is the most valuable painting I have seen him paint in years. I'm going to move out of the way. And I lowered the price all the way down because the night has not gone my way, and maybe we had too many Schofields, but this is it. 2,700, you're getting a monster painting. You're getting one of the greatest Schofields I have ever seen, ever. Period. End of story. Now let's say I'm wrong. What's the worst case thing can happen? You bought a great painting. Nobody else could even sell it to you at 27. Most of Michael's originals through different auction houses are 22 to 27,000. I got a folder here of prices at 22 through 27,000. I got Hub historical prices at 48,000, and I have one up for 2,700. And if you don't love it, send it right back. Call customer service. You'll love it. This is one of the greatest Michael Schofields I've ever had. So I'm going to move off of the Schofields here. I'm looking at that. What am I missing, Wilson? I'm looking at the monitor. That is just beyond gorgeous. Explaining to people adult and how he views from the time he became an adult, how it built disappointments, but moving forward. What I'm going to do, Ashley, is I'm just going to give it a couple minutes. Call me up and let me know who's calling. Folks, this is childhood. It's called childhood. Very unstable family and arrangements. And this one is called adult. Wilson's going to pan them all under childhood, always moving, never stayed stable, moved 12 times, till moved 12 times. I ran away at 13. That's Michael Schofield. That's that painting. It's showing instability. It's showing everything you want. You go to every art gallery in the world, you're not going to find anything like that. When you do, they're going to want 15, 20, 30,000. Here, look at this. Here's a Michael Schofield. Look at that, just a pastel. Right here. $18,999. Right there. For a pastel on eBay. Pastels are nice, but oil on canvas are nicer, in my opinion. Call me, talk to me. Tell me what you're thinking, and just let me know. Who have you heard from tonight? Anybody? Have we got a lot of calls from California, New York, Washington, Florida, Ohio? Why is not, as someone in Ohio, not bought this painting yet. Call me. I mean, that is, look at that. Wilson, you're doing a heck of a job on camera. That's the good news. There is no bad news. That's the good news. It's not one of those doctor jokes, Wilson. Wilson, this is your doctor. I hate to call you this late, but I got some good news and some bad news. Wilson says, well, what's the good news? Good news is you got a day to live. Wilson goes, I got a day to live? You call me up late at night, you tell me, I got some good news and I got some bad news. I ask you what the good news is, you say you got a day to live. That's the good news? What the heck could be the bad news? Doctor says, I forgot to call you yesterday. Yes. I got a price on adult. You got to call the phone bank. I've lowered it and lowered and lowered it. I had this up at 3,500. It's the greatest Schofield. Patty. I got a price for him.
I have a new register I'm interested in right now, and he's offering on the adult, on that beautiful one.
Register them and tell them they're getting the deal of a lifetime. And it appears, I just want everybody to know, Wilson raised the camera. Yeah, you should lower. God, I'm ugly. Yes, I am. This is before plastic. No, I've never had. Nobody could have plastic surgery and be this ugly, Wilson. So that answers that. No, I've never had plastic. But we are registering to sell this to a new customer. This is one of the greatest paintings I've ever seen by Michael Schofield. He's 76 years old. He's in the $1 billion Arm & Hammer collection. He's in the Smithsonian Institute, the Library of Congress collection. He has sold paintings for hundreds of thousands of dollars. If this is sold, they got the best price, a price I had never even, I thought this was going to go for $7,000 tonight. And they're getting a deal because I've done something wrong. So Patty, let me know if this doesn't go through. Oh, I love that painting. Oh, that's beautiful. Adult. Give him a deal. To Wisconsin, $79. You're going to steal what I already said. Are you reading my mind? And what is this customer's first name? Daniel. Daniel. Let me go to camera. Daniel, thank you for tuning into Barry Chappell's Fine Art Showcase. I want to thank you. It's one of the best deals anybody's ever gotten. Tonight's been a little strange night, but thank you. You got one of my favorite paintings. That is sold. Ashley, I'm going to hand this to you. All right. All right. I'll just bring it over here myself. No worry. All right. This is Patty's favorite painting. Right here. Patty started crying when she saw this. Because she's very emotional. You know why Patty started crying when she saw this one? Because that was the house, Wilson. That was the house that made Patty cry. There was a little kid running around that house. Red rum, red rum, red rum. No. This was Michael's childhood home. And he took this very, very, very serious. Michael wrote the history of his life in 5 paintings. This was painting number 1, always moving, never stable. 12 times, moved 12 times. And what's that word after 12 times?
12 times on number.
On number 1. You see it says,
12 times till I ran away at 13.
oh, till I ran away at 13. He grew up to be one of the greatest landscape artists ever. He is in the $1 billion Arm& Hammer collection. He's in the Library of Congress collection. He's in the Smithsonian collection. If you ever get to Washington, D.C., you can visit one of his paintings in the Smithsonian. This made Patty cry, not just because she could feel the emotion. And she mentioned that road, going up to that green sky, that key lime color sky. But what's that?
No, sorry, Bert.
What'd I miss? What's the item number on this? This is childhood.
Mr. M says that 2719. 2719.
2719.
Mr. M says that current painting was Stephen King's residence.
Whoa, oh, this was? I don't know. You know, but it could have been.
He also said that you'll be asleep at your wake.
I'll be asleep at my wake. Oh, you guys have got this all worked out.
I think I changed my mind. I think I'll take Ginger.
I don't know. You know, you see stuff like that movie with Jack Nicholson, The Shining. And I love, he's been dead for a while, but Scatman Crothers, who was in that movie. And I love that little kid midway through where he's pointing in a mirror. Red rum, red rum, red rum. Then they see red rum written in the mirror. You read it, it means murder. That is scary. But I'll tell you, the scariest thing I ever saw was in Pearson, Georgia, at the Pearson Light. And you can't visit it now. I think it's not Westinghouse. It's what's one of the biggest companies, starts with a W, that owns a lot of land through Georgia. And they had what they called the Pearson Light. It was near a train track, and in theory, you would drive to this train track, and a long time ago, a conductor lost his arm in a train accident. And there's all these stories, and I thought it was just the funniest thing in the world. And I would take girls there trying to scare them, and I just thought it was cool. Then one night, when I was 18, I went to the Pearson Light with a friend of mine, and we just parked at the train track down the end of the street, and all of a sudden, you see this, I don't know what it was. It was a ball that was hovering. And it started, literally 2 blocks from the car, then got about a block from the car, then got about 500 feet from the car, and the car's just parked there. Got 200 feet, got 100 feet, came right up to the windshield. It was literally a foot away, 2 feet, and it was a ball, and it was cylinder, and there were these purple and green lines that were changing, and it was coming closer, and I panicked then. I turned the lights on and started the car, and then it just kind of went and gone. That scared me. I actually went to the police station. I said, I know you guys hear about the Pearson Light. I just saw it. And they said, well, you been drinking tonight, sir? No, I just saw it. But Leonard Nimoy and In Search Of did a story on it, I believe 40 years ago. This shows so much emotion. This is Michael Schofield's painting number 1 in his life story. And he wrote the history of it right here. always moving, never stable. 12 times till I ran away at 13. Then he dropped out of school. He later joined the Marines, where he was a cook. And you were in the Marines, right, Wilson? Army. Are the Marines harder than the Army? They're, yes. Wilson says no, but I'll bet you there's some Marines out there going, hit the deck, Wilson. I want to hear on it from you right now. Don't you give me that smirk, Wilson. Yeah. Were they hard on you in basic training?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So, I had this up at 35. No one bought it. I lowered to 3. I was surprised. Actually, and I'm not making this up, Patty, one of the operators, I even filmed her, started crying when she looked at this because she said it brought out a lot of emotion. She could feel the pain that moving that many times. The tracks here leading to this this khaki color with green, but the white at the end, but the tracks to leave when he ran away at 13. She was actually emotionally moved, and this was called childhood. I had it at 35, lowered it to 3. No one bought it. Field me some offers, because 2, 3, 4, 5, 4 are gone. I got 1 and I got 5. And this one's stunning. This painting will not be forgotten. To get Michael Schofield to do something like this, he thought it'd be easy. He said, yeah, Barry, and I showed him that clip from Johnny Cash where, you know, Mr. Phillips there was telling him, I don't like the way you sing. And Michael took that very seriously. This is Patty's favorite painting. And she's been working with me for how many years? 22. I think I should dye my hair black.
No. It's just, what is that? Just for man, where it has like he still leaves a little silver. But yeah, no.
Wilson, you know why I don't dye my hair black? Because I'm still ugly. It's like putting lipstick on a pig, Wilson. It really is. Just for men. We have a little strip there. You know, and I'll get it wrong. I'll look like a skunk. I'll have a black streak right through the middle. All right. Ashley fields some calls. Tell me what you're willing to pay. This is painting number 1, the beginning of it all. Always moving, the history of Michael Schofield. These are the last Schofields we're going to have. And Wilson, after a show like tonight, I am really thinking about cryogenically freezing myself. I told my doctor, I said, what do you think about that? He started laughing. I said, hey, it's not funny. I bought a kit. My doctor said, what'd you pay for it? I said, $112. He says, well, you got off cheap, Barry.
Mr. M says you need to just give the painting to Patty.
Oh,
I agree.
thank you, Mr. S. Mr. S says I need to give this painting to Patty. Mr. M. Mr. M,
It doesn't sound Mr. M.
yeah. Well, for right now, let's take free off the board. Ashley, is there somebody out there? Give us 2,500, 27. Call. This is a very emotional painting. This is Michael Schofield.
Or, I mean, it could be just a painting of memory.
A painting of memory.
His childhood memories.
His childhood memories.
Look at the light in the background where he ran away and he got
Yeah, and the difficulty of those tracks in that mud, I mean, that is hard to paint. And you got to be a painter that's 76 years old that's been painting since he was 10. He ran away when he was 13. It's funny because I got to be very careful he told stories when he was 17 and 18, and he met L. Ron Hubbard. L. Ron Hubbard was the guy that wrote Scientology, and
Tomorrow says that you should definitely do the cryogenics. After all, you did anyway.
yeah, I'll do the cryogenics, but apparently L. Ron Hubbard tried to get a 17-year-old, 18-year-old Michael Schofield drunk and pick him up. No, that's what Michael says. Yes. Hey, it didn't happen to me. I wasn't even born yet. This is Michael Schofield talking. All right. Should I auction this? Painting number 1. How many people are watching me on the internet right now? Adrian, how many people? I think there's something wrong with that. Because every time I ask you, over the last 12 shows, it's been the same number. All right, folks. Patty, should I auction this? Do it. Start at 0. What kind of increments? You say 500. What do you think, Pat? Ashley? Start at 0. Patty's right. It's her favorite painting. This is painting number 1 in Michael Schofield's life. Start at 0. $500 increments.
Mr. Amber believes that of L. Ron.
He what?
He believes that of L. Ron.
He believes Michael was right, or what does he say?
Did you say L. Ron?
L. Ron Hubbard
Yes.
tried to take advantage of a 17-year-old Michael. Oh, let's get... All right, we're starting at 0. On painting number 1, 2, 3, and 4 are gone. I thought this would bring 4,500. We have the open. 500 has been bid. Folks, this is haunting. This is haunting the same way listening to a Chaplin ragtime song of the 1920s. It's just haunting in a good way. Michael, you get a copy of his letter about this. I am at 500, and you'll get a copy of Michael's letter about his life.
Well, no, that's zip code or not. But how may I help you? Verify. From the shopping I gave yes. Yes. A credit card on file and the receipt information.
Who am I speaking with? What would you like to do, sir? Is that 500 right now? You like to do 1,000?
No, ma'am.
1,000
1,000.
has been bid. Folks, Michael took 2 months on this assignment. And when he started, he thought, oh, no problem. And then a few days later, what did I get myself into? Then a week and a half later, darn you, but he didn't say darn. I am at 1,000, looking for 1,500. I've never been able to buy a Schofield for $1,000, let alone Patty's favorite. This was up for 3,500. I am at 1,000, looking for 1,500. Who's got the $1,000 bid? Mr. L.
Yeah, what's your last name? Now, you said you want to bid on this painting on the registry, or you just want to get right? Ashley says
We're at 1,000. They want to bring it up to 1,500, Patty. This is so cheap. It was up to 3,500 to start.
Okay, it's a new register. We have 15.
1,500 has been bid. Still too cheap. They're killing me tonight, Ashley, and this is your fault.
All my fault.
You arranged it.
I did arrange it. You are correct.
You arranged it. Well, thank them anyway. I'm at 1,500, looking for 2,000. Ashley, you've known me for a while. Can I buy Michael Schofield originals anytime for 1,500? No, they're a lot more. And this is his life story. And this is the beginning of his life. So this painting, this auction of this painting is going the way his life went, Wilson. Yeah. $1,500. Going once. You guys are killing me. 1,500. I can't buy it for this. Someone's getting the deal of a lifetime. Everybody's getting a deal of a lifetime. This is beat up on Berry night. 1,500 once. 1,500 twice. Hey, does the door still open on the 14th floor? I used to go up there to smoke a long time ago. All in. All said. Oh, that hurts. Sold. They got a deal of a lifetime, Patty. All right. Last one. The abstract. Till now. Michael wrote on this, painting 5, 65 to now. He's 76. Life has calmed down, but has changed and still abstract and always showing different paths. Abstract. He believes abstract is how he wants to finish his art career. Yeah. He quotes many artists about how they start out classical but evolve into abstract. Oh, this is stunning. All right, folks. Last auction. This is abstract. This is what he believes. He quotes Whistler. Who else? Who else does Michael Schofield quote about abstract art? How they start out as classical and move to abstract? Trying to think of some of the examples he gives. All right, Ashley. This is the last painting. What increment should I do on this? This is the last painting. And he believes when he's dead and gone, his abstracts will be worth more or as much as his landscape, which he has innovated over 50 years. Start at zero, $500 increments. This is called Till Now. This is the last of the 5 Schofields. Run with this. I got a funny feeling.
Open at 1,000.
Open at 1,000. So much for that idea of running with this. Thank you, Patty. We have the open at 1,000. This is what Michael thinks will be his most valuable art. I humbly disagree with him, but we have $1,000, which I can't buy a Michael Schofield for 1,000. I can't even offer Michael 1,000. Well, I could offer it, but he go.
You probably would have had a better outcome if you went 250 increments.
He is certainly right. I'm going to do that on the next non-Schofield, which I'm bringing up in a second. I'm at 1,000 right now.
Yeah, give me a second.
$1,000 going once. Wilson, in the words of my former Yugoslavian cameraman that I used 32 years ago, his name was Costa Christie. Barry, someday you get the bear, someday bear gets you. Bear got me tonight. 1,000 going once. And Mr. S was right. I made an increment problem on this one. Yes. Wilson, do you have any increment problems? 1,000. Yeah. Going twice. This is his abstract. All in, all said. They got the deal of a lifetime. Thank you, sold. I hope they watch us a lot. I mean, customers are getting one heck. Can you hand?
Tomorrow got it.
What?
Tomorrow.
Tamar, yes. Can you hand me my Zach's?
Tamara loved watching me host, remember?
Tamara did love you watching you host. This is homage. Homage. They say, right? Homage. Wilson's going, homage. Barry, it's homage. It's never homage. It's homage to Renoir. Now, this was done by E.M. Zachs. 2711. Now, Zachs has become a monumental artist. And Ashley, just so everybody gets, I'm going to let you keep this original letter in case I lose it. Someone might need this. You can put that somewhere. So, you got it's more than 17. I think there is a gallery that has the original Zachs to the Renoir like this for $22,000. There is a gallery about 900 miles from here, Wilson. Yeah, list price, Adrian, is $22,000. How I know it's 900 miles, Wilson? I had to steal this from that gallery. It's not easy. I'm not as fit as I used to be, Wilson. You know? This is absolutely a beautiful E.M. Zachs. A small little E.M. Zachs sold a couple months ago at Julian's Gallery in Los Angeles for $10,200. It was a whole different concept. This is E.M. Zachs. It is homage to Renoir. $22,000. This is what E.M. Zachs does better than anybody else. He is being handled by many auction houses. I saw him in one that I do business with not too long ago. I believe it was Heritage. There's some talk that Butterfield and Butterfield is going to be including some of his. I know that the publisher does have connections to Christie's, and so this is a 22,000 E.M. Sachs unique original, and it could be the first one ever done to Renoir. Homage. Is the H silent? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
Yeah.
So it's homage. Homage. Well, wouldn't homage be ma? It should be O-O-M-A. Homage. O-O-M-A-S-H. Homage. Boy, you know, Teddy Roosevelt was right. If people would just spell phonetically, you could probably get kids out of high school 2-3 years sooner. All right, folks. I've been beaten up on every single item I put up tonight, Ashley. Every single item went for less, considerably less. And nobody bought my Steve Gutenberg drawing, which I would have, never mind, Chappell. Here's what I'm going to do. E.M. Sachs, 22,000. Pop artist, and he is moving up so fast. What kind of increments would you do on this? Should I take, who's the one that just called in with those increments and suggested that? Which caller? I know we were doing 500,000. Who was that?
Oh, Mr. S said increments of 250.
Mr. S said I would have been done a lot better if I had done.
And Mr. I wants to know if you would take 850.
What's that? I can't. But he can win an auction because I'm starting at zero, $250. This is it. I got 11 minutes. So I'm getting the sense I should probably not build my $179 cryogenic chamber. What could go wrong, Wilson? I'm still working on how you make dry ice. I don't get that. What do you take out to make dry ice? 250. We have 250. Siri knows this stuff. Hang on, Siri. Siri, how do I make dry ice?
Here's an answer from Wikipedia. The most common industrial method of manufacturing dry ice first involves the production gases with a high concentration of carbon dioxide. Such gases can be a byproduct of another process, such as producing ammonia from nitrogen and natural gas, oil refinery activities, or large-scale fermentation. Second, the carbon dioxide-rich gas is pressurized and refrigerated until it liquefies.
Siri, you're wrong. If I did that stuff, I'd be dead. Look what she's telling me to do.
I can help with.
No, that's all. That's all I need your help on. Thanks, Siri. She said I'm welcome. I'm at $250. And let me just show you what other E.M. Sachs go for. Let me just show you this. Hey, whatever it happens, happens. I have currently just one bid at $250. Here's my E.M. Sachs. Look at this. E.M. Sachs. A hand-painted guitar, $4,200. EM Zax, hand-painted enlarged $100 bill, $3,950. And these are cheap prices. I am at $250. $500. $500. He is in an art business news. Look at this. Who is E.M. Zax? He's using the bleeding edge of technology. Look at that. $750 has been bid. Oh my goodness. So Wilson, let's assume I figure out, not using series help, how to make dry ice. Then I score a good supply of liquid nitrogen. Would you give it a shot? You're going like, what could go wrong, Barry? Now, if you do it wrong, your fingers will if you just touch liquid nitrogen, your finger breaks off. I am at $750. Wilson, let me go on camera too. Folks, I hope you've enjoyed the show. I am going to drop out of the sky in 8 minutes. I had no business auctioning this late. This is the E.M. Zax. You got a $22,000 E.M. Zax original. Maybe the first original concerning Renoir. Homage to Renoir. I'm going to show you on the back, you got an amazing frame. You know, if you had to buy a frame like this, you're probably talking $600-700 or more. Mr. S is right. Mr. S says, say the frame alone is $750. It is. And the frame's not the value. There is his bio. E.M. Zax is picking up more and more auction houses, and it's not your fault, it's mine. I did an awful job on one of the most important artists who is going to the moon, Alice, like Jackie Gleason would have said, but I'm going to have to end this. I can't even buy this for $750. This is impossible to buy at $750. An E.M. Zax original. Anybody else out there? Can I stay on this till they kick me off TV? No, I wouldn't do that to you. Knock, knock, Juliet. Said knock, knock.
Who is it?
That's not how you do it.
Who's there?
You're supposed to say, who's there?
Oh, who's there?
I said knock, knock. She goes, who is it?
Oh, Vinny, it's Ashley. Oh, yeah, I know. It's Ashley. You're talking to Ashley.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Isabel.
He said, Isabel whom?
Isabel who? Isabel really necessary on a fire truck? Who do you have there, Ashley?
Mr. Z.
Can he beat the $750 bid? This is so cheap.
Okay, so 1,000.
1,000 has been bid. Now, given the choice, Wilson,
He's an up-and-coming artist, but he's very talented.
he just sold at Julian's for $10,200 for a little dinky thing.
Well, actually, it's more Robin
No, I'm not going to jump.
so I own his axe as well.
Why jump when I can try cryogenics? I'm at 1,000. Anybody want to make it $1,250? Oh, this is something, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank you. I am down to 5 minutes. You know what I say, Wilson? Bring the camera up. It's society's fault. Society made me this way, Wilson. Yes, I had a chance, but society made me this way. What's that? Hang on, let's show this. I'm just joking. It's my fault. Always has been. That and my mother. Register, let's verify. We're
Yeah, like the doll.
all right. I'll tell you, this is so cheap.
Okay, so it just went 1250, so we do go 1500. And Barry would do free shipping.
Yes. Wilson?
Well, Barry's going to be getting a front row.
It's my mom's fault. It is. My whole life.
Verify.
We're verifying. This is so cheap, Ashley. 1,500. Thank you. Thank you. You know, I said to her, Wilson, nobody believes me. Patty, nobody believes me. Juliet, nobody believes me. I said to her as a little kid this high, I said, Mom, can I go over to my friend's house? She says, Barry, you don't have any friends. And stop calling me Mom. That's what she did. That will tear the guts out of a little kid. Well, thank 1,500 going once. 1,500 going twice. They're out, going all in. Sold. That's gone. Thank you.
You have no friends, and don't call me Mom.
Yes. Oh, laugh. That's a true story. That is. I got 2 minutes. Oh, my goodness. Well, folks, I thank you. You got deals so incredibly good tonight. I sold those Schofields so cheap. I just please tell a friend about Barry Chappell's Fine Art Showcase on PrimeTime Shopping every Wednesday night. Next Wednesday, it's coins. And I want to thank you, though. You've been great. I got beat up tonight, but thank you. And you guys take care. And Wilson, let me see your left ankle. I thought they were supposed to take that off. Hey, Matt, how come they didn't take the thing off of his left ankle? Wait, yeah. Didn't he pay the fine? Oh my goodness. Did Juliet have something to do with that, Wilson? Is Juliet responsible for that? What do you call that thing on your left ankle?
Ankle bracelet.
Ankle bracelet, yes. Does that hurt? Yes? I mean, if you kick something, does your ankle bracelet make your ankle vibrate? Can we do it live on camera once just so they can see it? I don't think people have seen an ankle bracelet that large. Hey, is it all right to let Wilson show his ankle bracelet? No, I could get... Hey, we love you folks. Buford, don't kick that dog. Don't even think about kicking that dog. I'll be back next Wednesday. A lot of coins. You got great deals tonight, better than you can ever know. Thank you very much. We love you. Bye-bye.